Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the December 4th, 2025 Rockingham County Board of Commissioners meeting. I call the meeting to order and please ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In attendance today, we have all three Board of Commissioners. We also have a guest from Service Credit Union, Danielle Marshall. We have Julie Hoyt, Chantel Jaconin, Chuck Nickerson, Jude Gates, and Layla Matilla in the Commissioners Conference Room. And Zoom land, I see Allison Kivakowski, Hi Sheriff, Aaron Coker, and a individual Jean. No, of course I can't. Menard, thank you. So with that concludes attendance. We'll move into openings with the first opening is the jail Lysol refurbish for the heating system.
Make a motion to authorize the senior director of facilities planning and IT review, evaluate the proposals and return with a recommendation.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Commissioner Tombrilla,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, we have the consent agenda. First, we have some meeting minute approval.
I'll make a motion to approve the October 9th, 2025 non-public minutes, the October 15th, 2025 public minutes, and the October 23rd, 2025 public and non-public minutes.
Second.
Discussion?
Did we fix that sentence on the non-public?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
Thank you. I just want to comment on how thorough and we had a lot of conversation about a lot of different things and just keeping it straight and also distilling it to key points because sometimes we get a little verbose. So thank you, Layla. I'm sorry that
That's a good description.
it's a positive spin on her. Anyway, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Tombrello?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, we have a surplus equipment request pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 28A for the county attorney's office.
Make a motion to approve a surplus equipment request pursuant to the New Hampshire RSA 28:8-A and declare a list of computers from the county attorney's office surplus with the items to be properly disposed of.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, Commissioner Tombrello?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, we have the HR recruitment report. And specifically there, I guess, we are staying sort of stagnant for the last 3 months, which is a little disappointing to see in terms of the percentage of agency that we're using, but,
We're at 43%
40.
agents, 41 and 43 between nurses. And I did look, I'm that's the exact line that I'm interested in, and Allison has made it a point to make sure that I know where it is when the reports come out, and it's still a positive trend.
Right.
It concerns me that we have more than 40% agency instead of staff, but it steadily is moving.
And I think to that point, when you look at a 6-month trend, we're down 12%, which is actually huge.
Yeah,
It's a huge figure, but I guess we've hit the fall saturation point for now, and we'll see. Chantel, do you want to add anything?
So, of course. So when you look at the numbers, so Autumn and I actually just had a conversation about it the other day, when she looked at the numbers and I compared it. And in just over a year and change, we've gone from in the 70s to the 40s. So I say that in looking at perspective.
Yeah.
At least for me. I think the other piece is we have had a lot more people approaching us about coming on board of contracts. That HR has been huge. I know we had a meeting in Chappaqua the other day to try and see, because we have wonderful benefits here, wonderful kind of packages, and how we can make sure that we're relaying those things to try and make some of it work well. I have a few thoughts that I've been working on that I plan on meeting with them on about some other kind of creative ideas to do so. And the piece that's really interesting is we have hired so many RNs in the last handful of sessions that we actually have no more full-time RN positions open and just LPN positions. So we have to work to come on that.
That's great news. I mean, that's a really big deal.
It's wonderful in that we're recruiting RNs, which typically you tend to have more LPNs. The piece that we didn't foresee is now we don't have an RN position technically to post because we have an LPN position. So if we were to get an RN, even though there would be a cost savings for us. So just identified yesterday, but
But we still have 40%
so
agency. I mean, don't we advertise to replace them?
yes, but please help me Chuck if I butcher this. We're budgeted because it's LPN and RN, because the schooling is different. Some of those pieces, the rates aren't equivalent. So when they're budgeted, we have certain positions that are RN positions. Nursing homes typically have a very, very hard time getting RNs, and you tend to have a higher LPN average. So our LPN slotted positions, open positions tend to be higher in the LPN. In the last handful of orientations, we have hired 4 full-time RNs. And now we've used all of the RN open positions. So technically we only have LPN positions open and budgeted, but I can't hire an RN into an LPN position. So I have 2 part-time RN positions. So we just figured this out yesterday once kind of those reconciled. So Alice and I think Julie actually just started kind of having a conversation of, we need to talk about this because we don't want to lose an RN that would replace an agency. But I'm an LPN rec and not an RN rec because of the way our positions are.
So the 40% that is agency,
Is primarily,
are all LPNs right now?
it's a mixture, but it's primarily LNAs. And then our biggest need is still LNAs.
Okay, we can get into those details.
Allison, do you want to share something?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you over the years when I first came in, we were putting full-time slots for people into part-time slots. We had to kind of ride that ship, and it took about 2 years to kind of level things on. In the meantime, there was some decisions made to take some of the RN full-time slots and make them into LPNs. So now I had suggested maybe looking at what the real need is, and our wages are very market competitive with other RNs for all across the board in New Hampshire, Maine, and Massachusetts. So somewhat Massachusetts on the border, but I think we could achieve some more RNs if we had the availability.
And I think Allison made a wonderful point when we were talking yesterday too. There's been so much transitions between 2 of the local hospitals that have recently been acquired, that more RNs than you've probably seen in the past are in the market than we probably would have gotten otherwise.
We need to strike while the iron is hot. I mean, I think when people get here, they love it here. It's just getting people in. And when you look at the agency rate for RNs versus how expensive the agency rate is, now these RNs within working for agency aren't getting those rates, but we are really competitive to the employee, to the nurse.
If we get RNs that are interested in working here and all we have is an LPN slot, we should hire them anyway and figure out how to change the position. We'll make the appropriate, get the delegation behind it. And I mean, we'd be in fantastic shape if we had all RNs.
Yeah, it just has to go before the board and executive, but unfortunately we have the CBA, and the rates are as LPNs, so we cannot kind of move. But I had suggested we look over that pretty quickly in the next week or 2, and maybe bring something to the board and maybe shift some of those, because we'll have a quarterly meeting coming up and we can get that on the docket. But it may be that you ask for a special meeting or something to get it on the docket sooner, whatever you think. But thank you.
I think we're all on the same page, as this is an opportunity to strike, but we shouldn't wait. I mean, if there are RNs that we want to bring in, that we should take it.
And I guess the caveat on that is I don't know if more RNs are going to apply. That just seems to be the influx of what we have gotten in the last 2 orientations have all been.
Oh,
Do they lose their licensing, like, so an RN is like a registered nurse, but when it's a licensed nurse, do they let that go when they become an RN? Or do they?
it's a little
hold
less
their license?
education to be
Yeah,
an
An
LPN.
LPN.
you could do an LPN school. There's one that does 3 quarters, so it's about a year and a half program. RNs, depending on associate's, bachelor's, it kind of varies. A lot of RN schools, some of them tend to build off some of the LPN. So a lot of times when someone goes from an LPN to an RN, they go to a school that takes the LPN kind of credits and consideration. So it's less of a program, so it tends to build, and therefore the LPN wouldn't still be active.
I think the other thing that we haven't really touched on that's worth noting is the, limit in turnover. We had 2 positions turnover, bailiff turnover, which is like not really it's not consequential because, it's just a pass through from the state, so it's not such a big deal, and, 1 laundry aide. So what that's saying is that, I mean, that's data that supports our retention, which is particularly in over at long-term care has been.
And then the other piece that I know isn't factored into the agency rate is, I'm gonna say Autumn, because she does it, but Autumn and Sam. We have hired so many people for laundry that we went from having, thankfully a team that was willing to step up to support us to essentially, I think we have 1 part-time, potentially 2 part-time positions that are open right now, where before we were running with 3 people.
Yeah.
So that has been kind of key to
Huge
getting some
turnover.
of those positions full and up and running, and will
And-
obviously help kind of us in the long run as well.
And it helps morale, right? If you have a couple people that are like slogging away and working overtime to make, it just helps to like for overall quality of life, which helps retention, so. Okay, well, anybody, we have a plan? Okay, next we are moving on to the December 5th, 2025 payroll.
Make a motion to approve the payroll expense in the amount of $1,885,132.94 for the period ending November 29, 2025.
Second,
Discussion? We're slightly higher than normal, but it was due to some of the holiday payouts. Okay, on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
yes,
Commissioner Tombrello?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We're moving on to commissioners' updates. Does anybody have anything they wish to share this week?
yeah, I have a little bit. I got a complaint yesterday from somebody who went to the registry of deeds for the first time. And his complaint was that the front steps were not shoveled. And he was concerned for safety. And so, I mean, I know it's a new building and we're all getting up to speed with everything, but it would seem that there's a point that needs a little extra attention.
I was over there today and everything is
Is it
clear.
cleared now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
This was at 10
So,
o'clock yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I
10
think,
a.m.
I think, there are kinks to be worked out to the storm, yesterday morning. I don't know about you, but I personally was still clearing out yesterday morning because we got so much snow overnight. So,
Just
yeah, I think,
Sharon, I don't know exactly. I know it's a new building, so it's a little bit of a struggle
Yeah.
with personnel getting over there and stuff, or maybe not,
It's a
but
fancy parking lot too.
yeah,
the parking lot to
It's very tricky.
to plow.
plow.
And to be fair, I think we require the employees to ensure that all of the walkways at the nursing home and DOC are clear for 6 a.m. So we really focus very heavily on the nursing home and DOC. The side entrances were available for employees. It was the steps that came last. So we know we're on a learning
Okay.
curve. We have very
Yeah.
veteran plowers and on the team right now, a lot of new folks. And it has been noted.
Okay,
I think
that's
that
good.
if I could see just on this one thing, so I've had many conversations with Jude about the plowing thing. And the whole complex, the new building is new to all of us. We might look, I mean, I even said to Jude, can you dig up the old quotes for the complex to be plowed? Or maybe we're gonna the whole new building, once we reset in 6 months, we're gonna say, okay, we're gonna do this, that. It might be that it's too much for the staff that we have now.
Great.
It could be that we're gonna have to either privatize it or put staff on,
Well, we
so.
might need more staff. Didn't we hire 2 maintenance people for?
Two grounds people want, none of them are grounds people. All 4 of our grounds people are new,
It takes,
so.
that's a learning
Yeah,
curve.
they're
Yeah.
working really hard,
I think
and
that's
they've
what it
already
is,
debriefed on it, we've scheduled an extra meeting for them next week. We know there are
Okay.
issues, I think overall safety was honored, and if they had to leave anything, that was probably what they had to leave, given the nursing home and the gym.
Yeah,
But we'll get better, Commissioner.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, I'm sure.
it's like, no.
You're on it, I can tell.
There really is just like, I think with the new building, and this is where I sort of have the feeling, feel a little bit is like, okay, let's just integrate low and slow. We don't have to make anything be too reactive in any capacity, but like, as we work out in the next 6 months, we'll see where the shortfalls are, or like, in terms of staffing or the gaps we need to fill in or triage in some way, and then we can just take them after we get a little data on what the needs of the building are.
Registry of deed needs, master keys. Have they been ordered yet?
Yes, and I talked to Kathy about it about 100 times, actually. But, I asked her, she didn't have a key to her office, so she gave her master key to Becky, and I said, you want a key to your office? I gave her a key to her office, and she said that would suffice, she wants 4 master keys for the 4.
You've taken care of that.
I have.
That's all I need to know. Thank you. I'm good. That's it.
Okay, do you have anything, Commissioner?
Nobody's complained to me and don't complain to me. I have nothing. I mean,
I get all the complaints. I don't know.
I would say with the new building too, the scary part about building this building for 76 million or wherever the final number is gonna be is that we're gonna have a lot of hidden costs that we didn't know. Like, for instance, even the sheriff's department, it slipped my mind that the sheriff was getting his department cleaned by the inmates. So I think there's gonna be hidden costs that in 6 months, and it's gonna drive this budget up. The building is beautiful, and we built it, we bonded the money, and the lucky, the leprechaun over there found us the money, but we're gonna have some surprises that we don't, and it might take a couple of years. We built you build a building and you don't know what it costs you to run it. I was there the other day when I saw the tractor trailer there to fill up I think there's 6 propane tanks underground. I'm like, oh boy, oh boy. So we're gonna have the building is the building. And the 2.4% that we bonded the money is done, and we know what that price is. But we don't know what this building is gonna cost us to run. Manpower, electricity, heat, the electricity, we got that solved out back, but I'm nervous that it'll drive this budget up, but we're there.
Commissioner, I think you were raising this point like before we even had this building
Yeah.
built. I mean, I think, to your credit, you were saying this same
But we're gonna
valid
work through it.
point, but we just have to work through it. And I think, as we look at next year's budget, we're gonna be able to explain to the delegation, we have this beautiful building. The cost increase is so that we can keep it in this wonderful condition. And, it was nice. I was over there today. People, our staff, they're like, everybody's thrilled with the
Yeah.
space. It's really wonderful. And, again, it's like, there's also community space. I was getting things ready for, I think you guys, as you guys approved my use of the auditorium, but it is an incredible opportunity to do. We're doing training for police officers from like 12
Perfect.
different communities in Rockingham County. Like that's so great to bring people together and to really network and learn. And so it's all good things. We can, I think, very easily justify cost increases associated with it because it is going to be such a value to the community. But
If you go out in the lobby, you could even be, the person for information, because when I went to the bathroom, one was looking for the sheriff to serve a warrant, one was looking for civil, so if you go in the lobby, plan on giving directions. They're looking for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a place where we didn't want to increase the cost right now, like,
No.
that's something we, as we look at.
We'll address it in the spring.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not, I mean, reality is, it's gonna be a tough budget season.
Yeah.
We know it's coming. All right, anything else?
Nope.
Well, then, we welcome you, Danielle, where next up is the Service Credit Union presentation.
So, all right. Hi, everyone in Zoom land as well. So my name is Danielle Marshall. I am the Relationship Development Officer for Service Credit Union. I had the pleasure of meeting the commissioner a couple weeks ago at our corporate office. And I was explaining to him our Select Employer Group program. So essentially what my job entails is partnering with local businesses and organizations, towns, cities, schools, etc. And we extend our membership qualifications to that group. So essentially, in this example, if we were to partner with Rockingham County, all of the employees of Rockingham County would be eligible for membership with Service Credit Union. Typically the program tends to be handled under the HR benefits realm because it is a free way to enhance your benefits package to your employees. I know you guys were chatting a bit about retention and hiring earlier, so it's just something a little bit extra you can add at no cost. We're gonna give a brief overview, but I don't know if anyone had any like specific questions at all. I'd be more than happy to answer.
What do we need to do to institute your, your participation?
Yeah, so essentially, from the county's end of things, there's a short online form that needs to be filled out. Essentially you pick one person that kind of is the person to fill that out. I'm not sure in this case if it would be like one of the commissioners or maybe your HR team. But they would kind of be the point of contact. From there, we do everything on our end as far as adding the county to our membership qualifications through the NCUA. And then from there, it's kind of a customizable package. We can do whatever you guys are looking for. If you're looking for something as simple as just the basic relation to have that be an option to your employees, we can do that. We can also come in and do financial wellness for your employees. So if you guys have like any like staff meetings or anything like that, we can come in and tailor it to what your group is looking for. If you guys have any sort of benefits fair, we can come in and meet with your employees as well. So it's really kind of, you can get out of it what you're willing to put into it is like what I like to say. Every organization and company is different. So.
Allison, do you see any roadblocks to including Service Credit Union with our benefits?
No, it could be considered a voluntary benefit because there's no commitment for anybody. I would probably throw it under the HR arena of all the benefits that we offer because we have like pet insurance and we have home and auto insurance. This would be another benefit that we could offer. We could advertise. We could do some mailers. We could do some pamphlets. We could have it up on the website. We could put it on the UKG benefit page for our employees so that everybody gets access to that information. And it's 24 access. They could get it if we put it up on the UKG platform where we do a lot of our stuff. So it sounds like a nice benefit. It just gives somebody another way. I do know if employees typically have credit unions, their direct deposits typically will go in one day ahead of a normal
Correct.
processing. So that's another benefit to our employees that don't have
Right.
just regular bank accounts versus credit unions.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, that is one of the major benefits of really any credit union. As you tend to get paid early. Our program is up to 2 days early. On average, most of the ones I see are about a day early, but in some instances, depending on the payroll provider, it can be up to 2 days early. Yeah. Any other questions you guys have at all?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a
great
win-win for all of us.
Yeah. So Allison, would you be the best person to work with on that?
If the board designates me, certainly I can. It falls under
Okay.
my benefit realm.
It seems.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like, based on
That's
like, it kind of
the-
seems like that would be the best fit, but totally your discretion.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Allison should be
Yeah.
spearheading this for
I
sure.
was gonna say you, but if Allison's gonna do it.
You don't want me
I was gonna, but that's.
Okay, that's great.
Great, yeah, thank you
Perfect.
so much.
Awesome,
Thanks for your
yeah,
time.
of course.
So you coordinate with Allison and I'll make sure that you have her contact information.
Okay. Yep, and
And
then,
then you can follow up with her.
yeah, sounds great. So Allison, once I get that from the commissioner, I'll reach out and we can schedule something for the two of us to go over getting everything set up.
Perfect. Sounds great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right,
Okay.
very good,
Thank
thank you.
Thanks. Moving on to facilities operations, we have a change order request.
I'm making a motion to approve a change order request to Warren Street Architects, Inc. for continued construction administration services through January 3rd, 2026. And for post warranty services through September 29th, 2026. For an amount not to exceed $32,698 as recommended by the Senior Director of Planning and IT.
Second,
Discussion?
So it's already,
We are budgeted for this. Great.
we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
you're welcome to stick around, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, very good.
It's educational.
It's usually do lobster rolls right after.
No, I've actually learned a lot, so this is good.
Okay, on the change order request, Commissioner Tombrello.
Yes.
Commissioner Godu.
Yes,
And I vote yes. Next, we have the New Hampshire State Library Moose Plate Grant Agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve the New Hampshire State Library Moose Plate Grant. Agreement for preservation, conservation and dignitizing. Digitizing the three historical documents, house corrections, 1941 to 1949. Inmates register, from 1869 to 1869 to 1881, and inmates registered 1947 to 56 for an amount of $9,960.80, and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Planning, IT Director.
second,
Discussion? I mean, I think it's pretty cool that we're able to preserve these records. Credit to Robin, who I think spearheaded this project to get the grant, so that's awesome. And just like, these are historic, I mean, inmate records, but still historic records that are, it's interesting, especially the ones from the 1800s.
Yeah.
We see our efforts with a lot of these Moose Plate grants mostly, or we account for it in the budget for the Registry of Deeds for all those, our archived records. So it's cool that we're doing this in other areas of the county.
I noticed the House of Corrections.
Okay. On the motion, Commissioner Tombrello,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
yes,
And I vote yes. Next, we have revision and energy operation and maintenance service agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve the revision energy operation and maintenance service agreement commencing January 1st, 2026 for an initial term of 1 year with provisions for automatic renewal and successive 1-year increments. Each subject to an annual increase of 4%, and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Facilities Planning and IT.
second,
Discussion?
I looked at this and I'm not sure that I support it because of the increase that, so each year this would automatically roll into, I support revision, but I don't like the fact that every year we'd be committed, is that for the rest of our life at 4%? I mean, I don't know if I like 4% for the rest of my life. I mean, I would be happy if I saw like 3 years, relook at it, 5 years, relook at it. I'm
Right.
just nervous. The rest of my life, hopefully is a long time. 4% for the rest of my life is a lot of money. And I support revision, but I don't know if I support locking into.
To that point, we should try to do a 3-year,
Yeah.
that would make sense, and I think I would make that amendment to, I mean, we could probably just amend this. I had some of the same concerns, it's like, depending on market trends,
Yeah.
now that could, it's like playing the
It could be
lottery.
2. It could be 2 someday. We don't know, but we'll lock in
Could be 8.
4.
You
Well, it
know?
could be 8.
So, like,
But-
it's-
Or even a 5-year contract. We know that solar revision is gonna be our carrier and
yeah,
they're gonna be, but I don't like locking in for, renewal for increment years. I'd rather see like a 5-year, preferably.
I agree. But I'm a little unclear what the maintenance work is that they need to do.
A lot of it is preemptive work. They're out in the field taking readings, verifying performance before it becomes an issue. We have reactive protection for 5 years for free.
This is
But
prophylactic.
this is- Exactly, it's prophylactic. And also, they will help us get data on the website. They're helping us now, excuse me,
Yeah.
with providing daily readings to Eversource. But we would be able to put that on our dashboard, the building automation system that we're watching. So it's more of a ensuring that everything is in prime monthly condition. And then we get the additional reporting, website support.
And you recommend it.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. We had tried getting some of this information from them, and it's just not part of the automatic 5-year contract that we had received, and I think the additional services will benefit the county, yes.
So I think to Commissioner Tombrella's point, the 5-year term would match up. It seems like it would align with our current contract. So that's, the other thing is, I think my concern was relative to, I'm sorry, I just need to find the provision. In terms of, there was one like about how much we can be reimbursed by the, the liability. Yeah, but it seemed like it makes sense when you,
It does.
it does make sense when you know the scope of
Yes.
work.
Exactly. And when I called Primex, they were like, well, we're not necessarily
Yeah.
telling you to change it. We just want to make sure you look at it.
Yeah, and I think understanding the scope of work and that it's like, again, prophylactic, not remedial, then we're pretty safe with respect to that term. So,
I think that would align.
yeah,
I think that we can approve this. But negotiate
Do it as a 1 year.
because really it's for 1 year. And then we have an option, there's a provision to keep it rolling at 4% increase, and maybe we should negotiate that provision.
I guess with provision, it's automatic, the provision is an automatic renewal. So I think what we would need to do, I think the way to do it is to approve, we could do one of two things, right? We could table this today and try to have that, whatever terms, how we want to tie it up for number of years and increase. We could address it that way to put it into the contract, or we could vote to approve the contract, amend the motion with the terms of
5 years.
a capped term of 5 years with the 4% increase as outlined. And I
Have
think
them
and then we can
At
approve it on that and they can accept that change and sign the contract.
least they'd be locked into the 5 years at 4%. I think they'd be happy.
We'd be,
Then if they had to kind of do something.
and it aligns with the other service work, so.
Would we want to connect the increase to Northeast CPI? Consumer Price Index,
Yeah.
So like right now, that would be 3.1% or
That's-
approximately.
Yeah.
And then each year, they might
Connected to
consider
that.
that to be fair, because if it is
Yeah,
inflationary year, then they deserve a little extra money, I suppose.
that's a good thought.
So,
I could bring it back to them.
Yeah.
let's see, okay,
And then we could, we theoretically, if we tie it to them in that way, it's like takes out you may win, you may lose, but you're tied to market trends, not like, oh,
An arbitrary number.
beat the game or
right,
it's just the most equitable, certainly, for all the parties. And I think with our dealings with revision, it really has been a equitable
Yeah.
relationship, like
they've been a good partner.
yeah,
So
yeah, to see if they're.
should we table it for the moment
Yes,
and then renegotiate, is that okay?
Okay.
Okay,
we can probably get this figured out in,
Yeah,
like, for next week. They're
I would
pretty,
think so,
yeah,
I'll call her straight away today.
fantastic.
okay,
So I made the motion, so just
Okay, move to table the motion.
second.
On the motion to table, Commissioner Tombrello?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. It's a good thought, really good thought. We are moving on to human resources, which with an exception request for new appointment rate in long-term care services.
I'll make a motion to approve and accept the request for personnel policy 7-3. New appointment rate for a long-term care employee CB as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Discussion?
Good move.
Yeah, we're not talking, huge sum.
It's over the middle.
Thank you.
Okay. On the motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
Commissioner Tombrello.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, we have, two exception requests for wage increases for the finance office.
I'll make a motion to approve an exception request personnel policy 7-4 for a finance office employee AT as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Discussion? This is tied to stipends that we see when individuals are doing extra work.
I did actually talk to Allison yesterday and I talked to Chuck today about it because you're right up front with him, not one for stipends there. But this one makes sense, so I will be supporting it. But I did talk to both of them just to clarify.
On the motion, Commissioner Tombrello.
Yes.
Commissioner Godu.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next is the second motion.
Make a motion to approve an exception request to personnel policy 7-4 for finance employee LL as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
Commissioner Tombrello, and I vote yes. Next, we have Sheriff's Office, 2025 Homeland Security Grant Program Agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve a 2025 Homeland Security Grant agreement in the amount of $7,824 for the purpose of first responders statewide for executing anti-terrorism linked eligible training exercises and procuring eligible equipment. And authorize the sheriff, authorize the chair to send on this necessary documents as recommended by the High Sheriff.
Second.
Discussion? This is to get equipment, specifically some binoculars and some Halligan bars, which I had to Google because I had no idea what a Halligan bar
I
was.
was gonna ask the same question. I never Googled it.
It's the good old fashioned tool. It's a tool used for entry for if you have to enter into someone's house or, yeah.
Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
I had no idea what a Halligan bar was either.
Thank you for your candor.
I thought it was something that we get beer at an Irish pub or something.
Well, yeah, I was doing, yeah, go ahead, Sheriff,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
No, I said, if you guys ever need a Halligan bar, you know where you can come and borrow them.
I had to, I was doing legislative research, and I had to also Google what a Martin was. Anybody know what a Martin is?
Martin.
It's a type of weasel. Yeah. Oh, fuck no. See, that's a Boy Scout. Boy Scout.
She went wild, like, so.
Anyway, you wanna, there are two new vocabulary words of the day. Okay, moving, I guess, on the motion, Commissioner Tombrello.
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We're moving right into department head updates. So, Julie, do you want to take HR or Allison? Go ahead, Allison. Start with you.
Hi, HR's had a really busy week, like the last two and coming up to the next week. The MOUs for the gift cards have been signed and are executed. Everybody was given their cards between yesterday and today. The SEIU group, union group, they have been ordered. We're just waiting for a tracking to tell us when, but they said originally 3 to 5 days. We're hoping for Friday. If they come in Friday, we're going to push them right out. We do have the Christmas cards from the commissioners went out in the Amazon gift card as part of the whole packet. And so we have now the wellness initiative that will go out and hopefully all departments will get those Wednesday. And that's for everybody. That's for everybody. And Chantel allotted some money for her vendor groups and some of the agency staff. So that will have good cheer and goodwill for everybody on the floors. Other than that, we're just moving along as best we can and going to be very happy when all of these things are finished and wrapped up. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Chantel?
So
our census in the nursing home is 133, 45 in assisted living. There's one COVID staff member. However, no exposure to residents. Been very busy the last few weeks on our side with different projects, kind of pieces and moving parts. To general update from last week. So we were notified, so our physicians are between two groups, Lamprey and Core. Core is two of our providers. One of those two is our medical director. I was notified last Tuesday that, so Core is part of Exeter, which was acquired by Beth Israel Lady Health, that in their transition, they're eliminating that service. So they gave 60 days, the contract goes through March. However, they're willing to work with us. So I have started to kind of have conversations, plans, have a few options, and things that I'm working on for that, but wasn't anticipating that one. So working through that. And then we have not informed the residents just yet because we want to get through the holidays without the extra press for them. But our chaplain has elected to pursue a different path. So she has given us not a firm date because she's willing to kind of work with us and wants to get through the holidays. But we are going to have to be looking into chaplain as well.
That is a sad loss for us. She is also bilingual, which was really nice
And she's done
extra.
a lot of amazing things with support groups and resident support and participation in our services have like tripled in
Wow.
the short time she was here.
Well,
So it's definitely big shoes to try and fill and kind of work through. So we are working on that as well. However, because she is so ingrained and with our residents and our families, and holidays are already a stressful time for them, we are electing not to formally tell everyone until after per her wishes, so that there's no added stress to any of them during the holiday. We, on a positive note, we have a local church that sponsors our residents every year, and the delivery was made, and every year, 2 years in a row now, walking into Life in Richmond and just seeing the sheer amount of kind of collections and what they do for our residents is always just so overwhelming. But it's just wonderful for our residents, but it's very humbling.
Assisted living, we have 49.
We have 49 beds,
So we were 47 now, I heard the number 45. So
45. We had a few that transitioned to the nursing home. And then one of the individuals that was supposed to move in, unfortunately, was unable to.
usually there's a waiting list there, right?
Yep, we have, because we weren't anticipating some of
Right,
them,
right.
we have to get
Okay.
additional information and clearances and components for it, so there's always a waiting list. For our assisted living, so we're still working through that.
I told you to get a room ready for me, but I'm not ready.
That's okay.
Okay, thank you.
thank you, Chantel. Chuck?
It was a challenging payroll,
Yeah.
lots of things were in this payroll. One major thing will be longevity that the employees that qualify will see. I see, as you heard, all the different union holiday payouts occurred as well. Let's see, we're working on the qualified overtime deduction. It was probably heard as part of the one big beautiful bill. There's the, I think it's the first 12,500 overtime can be a possible deduction for individuals on their returns. So the IRS finally issued official guidance. And so Ben has already been working towards putting things together to make the math easier anyways, but there'll be spreadsheets or statements that will go out to each eligible employee that'll be attached to W-2 this year. For 26 W-2s going forward, it's going to be required by that law to be actually on the W-2. So that'll be a future thing UKG is working on that. Audits, work on various audits continues. The preliminary desk view for the 25 cost report is almost wrapped up. Then there'll be audit time, because every 5 years, DHHS does an audit of the Medicaid passport, so I can look forward to another audit to work on too. Just a reminder for those that applies to tomorrow, the AHAC, we have our executive committee meeting. And for like Kathy and I, it's also the officers meeting as well. Of note, at this executive committee meeting for HAC, is gonna be a vote on the 2026 budget, calendar year budget for the association, so.
I think it'll pass.
Yeah, we made some changes to the.
Right.
It's good.
And obviously, as usual, many other things going on. Shout out that our parallel practitioner position is now officially open. Lisa Stevens started with us this past Monday, so
Excellent.
very happy. She brings a nice positive attitude to the position, and she lives locally.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Yes, she's
It
been.
seems like a
yeah.
great fit.
Very
That's
much,
wonderful.
And other than that, there was a walking item that I had. I apologize, but it's a grant application.
The RSAC grant?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, that's all. Okay. It's great.
Yes, if it can help provide funding towards some things that we'd already need to do as far as the community corrections building, it makes good sense to apply for it.
I did check, I followed the email, and I think Chantel was on it to Brendan Williams about what could be happening to us next year with Medicaid and Medicare and everything. If you read the email, it's pretty scary what potentially could be happening.
There's multiple things, and obviously, I think Kelly would mention this too, as far as on the Medicaid failures, that's due to the impact to. And the special time state finance commission meeting that I went to, this past Monday, that was talking about that too. The state is looking to hopefully find some money to be able to plug that hole for those, facilities that are getting a decrease. But Brendan Williams is concerned from the, hospital, was it HCC? Healthcare. So,
Yeah.
that he's concerned about private homes possibly going under with this change to how the Medicaid rates are. Never mind what's happening with how far back, the reduction to what, 130 days back as far as
There's-
Medicaid, and it's just.
So there's variables in how far back, so it's 30 in the community, but they're saying that it will be 60 for nursing home, but that's still a decrease from the 90 days. And then because they're increasing the amount of times that you have to apply, like to qualify, going from annually to every 6 months, I
6 month
believe it is.
recertification.
But there are already delays in how long it's been adding to the burden. So right now, it takes some 6 to 9 months right now to get an answer from Medicaid, is what we're averaging, opposed to before where it was about 3 or so months. So then if you're adding in all the burden of the extra 6 months revalidations, and then there's the concern we have that we're still, I don't know if we have the exact verification, is if we have to do that for our residents every 6 months. That's a whole other,
It's at least on the expansion population, at the very
yes,
least.
they haven't
So
really
you
said
read into
clearly
it,
on
it
it.
looks like if it's gonna put those small nursing homes out of business.
Right.
If the prediction is right.
So New Hampshire already has one of the lowest Medicaid reimbursement rates in the country. And then the cost is higher in New Hampshire than some of the others that are kind of in our ballpark anyway. But because we balanced the budget, we've gotten 2 different estimates. Either way, ours is negative. The one of them, I think, was a $23 PPD difference, and the other one was a $53 PPD difference for Medicaid. So that's per patient per day for Medicaid. So it's a significant amount of money. They retro back to a certain year's rates, where, like, so our CMI window opens today. And we have a certain amount of time to capture the acuity of your patients, and then that typically pays about a year out off of that side of it. Our MDS team is really wonderful and does a really good detailed job at capturing things, and we've done a lot of education with our staff, so we're capturing the care that they need, which is why our rate, we were anticipating an increase. And unfortunately, we're not going to the rate that they're going off of, granted, we can't speak to the population. Some of the things that we put in place to truly capture the acuity, we're not gonna see that benefit off of the current.
Just gonna be, yeah, it's scary. The whole thing is scary. I mean, really, it's like, and you know, the smaller private facilities go under, it just means our waiting list is gonna be higher. It just puts the whole system under a significantly greater amount of stress. Absolutely. Okay, well, on that happy note. Jude, tell us some, go ahead, are you done?
No, I'm.
Jude, tell us something good.
All's well in facilities. After our first snowstorm, it is a learning curve. I have a number of people in training today for some systems in DOC at the jail. Rich is actually at public safety training. Yeah. We finished the condensate repair down at the jail, that major condensate line. We actually got it buried yesterday, the day before yesterday, just before the snow flew. We have more work to do in the spring, but we have it buttoned down for now, so it's all good. We had to run the jail toilet for a few days. And it worked fine, but we don't want to burn it out. So we're back in line with that. We're still maintaining a fire watch in the nursing home. It's going on a couple of weeks now. They're closing and they're working on it every single day. They've replaced 3 panels. They are closing in on it. They've got it boiled down to, I think it might actually be an extra panel. It's been a ton of work trying to figure out that it's just not fine. It's not, the panels stop talking to each other for no apparent reason. And it's one giant network. So the panel in the HR building was beeping every few minutes because it's going out to look for a node. It's not there. It makes trouble. Looks for a node. It's not there. It makes trouble. So it's been, I know, really aggravating, and I apologize. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. And I'm meeting with Sarah Lineberry tomorrow down at the courthouse to see how much of the leftover furniture she wants. We did retrieve a few things for use. HR is taking some Veridesks. We grabbed a couple of chairs for my department. There were some tables that we were able to use. So we recovered a few things that the county attorney and or deeds were surrendering. So it was good for us to.
Great. Are there any other things that maybe DOC would want upstairs when they?
There's a lot of furniture, but I'll double check
Okay.
with Jason.
Just because I was thinking.
There's a million file cabinets. But nobody really uses file cabinets very much
It's
anymore.
all digital.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a whole room of 5-drawer file cabinets with keys.
It's a good problem to have, of course, right?
So we might drag a couple up here just in case someone's looking for them, and I'm hoping that Sarah's gonna want most of it so that we won't have to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
And the movers, I'm sure you've all heard, it's been a bit of a debacle with the deeds moving. I think it was maybe poorly estimated. I'm not certain at this point, but tomorrow hopefully is gonna be the last day that they'll be cleaning everything else out.
And they'll be done. So
They told me that more than once. I talked to Sarah, was it last week, Chuck? About going and looking at the stuff, and I said, we need to be out of there. And she's like, don't worry about it. You're okay. It's just furniture. We'll look at it. So she was really gracious about it. So once she decides what she wants, we will get everything else out of there as quickly as possible to be out of her brain. But she was very, very nice about it.
You should send a thank you note of some
Yeah.
sort, just
It was
something,
terrific.
just general kindness.
Yeah, she really was lovely. And she's like, I know how busy it was. We don't know. She's very nice.
Ask her if she misses us. Tracy, do you miss us?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jude. Let's see, I think, Sheriff?
There you are. Nope, everything's going well on the move. We've had some hiccups, but we're working close with Jude and she's doing a really good job, getting us keys and fixing all the little bugs in the building, which you expect it. I tell you though, I don't mean to speak for other agencies, but they did do a good job plowing that parking lot. So, I mean, otherwise, and the steps and stuff like that, but it's plowing all my life and I see what goes on with plowing and all those center islands and everything. It's like, you couldn't pay me to do that, but they did do a good job. But no, everything seems to be going good. We're just waiting to get dispatch, should be over shortly. We moved evidence the other day, just a bunch of little stuff. But I tell you, I finally figured out where my office is because every time I walk in there, it's like Oh, right. And there's no going for walks anymore at night with my wife because I just walk up and down those hallways. So it's a beautiful, really appreciate, the three of you people really putting this together. And like I said, we got some hiccups, but just like with a new building or anything else, it's all going to work out just fine. And thank you very much.
And Sheriff, I think, one thing I was back in sort of in the way over by your area today, out in the exterior. And it's just going to be so nice for the public, for civil process or service to access. I mean, it's like a game changer from going, trying to walk into the jail and find your way up the stairs to now, like, there's a double doors that are glass that says sheriff. Actually really from an accessibility for the public, it is a game changer.
Right. It's so much nicer because, you got to remember too, right? If someone came over handicapped, we'd have to try to get through the jail to get them to come up into secured areas. You got the handicap doors, you got the windows there with the trays. It's just such an easy building for us to do our job. I mean, just our job, like the civil office and everybody else. So, hey, we're excited. It's so nice to be over there. The morale with all our employees. I mean, we ended up cleaning out a lot of stuff that's been there since like 1989. I found pictures from back in the old days with all the old sheriffs, which we'll probably down the road. We're gonna probably do like a display case and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah. No, honestly, I can't. I mean, I think every civilian employee that works over there, the dispatches. Once the dispatches get in there, it's going to be phenomenal. But thank you again. You guys did a great job. You're just doing a great job, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. That's it. I'm done.
Thank you, Sheriff. And thank you for your insight on plowing. It's also good to get a perspective of someone who's like, yeah, couldn't pay me enough money. Layla, do you have anything to add?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay. So with that, I think we're done with the. We
I have a question. If I might,
well,
off topic here.
sure. We're moving right into new business, old business. So jump in.
Oh, okay, perfect. When will we get the contracts, the bids for the cleaning services? Is that something that is not gonna happen until January and we're moving forward until then, or what's the status?
Deadline for submissions is next Wednesday, I believe, and then Thursday is the opening.
Okay.
And we did have 9, I believe, organizations that came
Oh,
out.
good.
One unfortunately did not have a business card, did not reach back out to me, even though I gave them my email. But everyone else received some information, received the floor plan, so they know exactly what they would be getting into from a cleaning standpoint.
Great.
And Drew did a great tour as far as bringing them around to the 3 floors.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have the Gallagher presentation, coming at 2, but I think we could get through, it might be worthwhile to move forward to the weather emergency and the other walk-in we have with regards to the RSAT grant.
I'll make a motion to declare a weather emergency in accordance with personnel policies and procedures, chapter 8-4, starting at 3 p.m. Or the start of the shift and defined by the department on Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025, through 11 p.m. of the start of the third shift as defined by the department and recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Second,
Discussion? Hearing none, Commissioner Godu?
yes.
Commissioner Tombrilla?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, we have the finance office walk-in for the RSAT, it's the residential substance abuse treatment grant application.
I'll make a motion to authorize the finance office to apply for grant funding on behalf of Rockingham County for the 2025 residential substance abuse treatment RSAT grant, an amount not to exceed $163,772.05 with a 27% required match as recommended by the Senior Director of Finance.
Second,
Discussion?
How did they come up with 27%?
do we have the 27%?
It's a match, yes, we'd be requesting grant funding to help with 2 additional positions that would be needed regarding community corrections. And the 27% used as a match would be the employee benefits. So with basically health, dental, employer retirement and employer FICA. So that basically would add up to just about all, except for maybe 92,000.
And we have that money in the budget.
The 27% match.
Yeah.
Yes, it'd be in next year. It'd be in next year.
27.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
But
Just
I
wanted
mean,
to make
when
sure.
we, the nice thing is when we're talking about hidden costs of the new building and positions, and I mean, this wasn't a hidden cost and sort of the needs to have new, like for a team on like the clinician side at the jail, but this grant will help fund or offset the cost of having those positions where the clinician side.
And the intent right now of the New Hampshire DOJ is that this grant program will continue into future years as well. So we make sure that this grant, if we're given an award, would continue on being seen on our radar to apply for each and every year that's out there.
Great. That's wonderful. Okay, on the motion, Commissioner Tombrello.
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
I know we have, welcome our friends from Gallagher for your presentation. I'm gonna ask, before we go to continue with the presentation, I'm just gonna ask if you guys will indulge moving, public comment forward. Does anybody, Ms. Menard, would you do you want to make any public comment today? Okay, she's off the head. Is there anyone else, who would, for public comment? Okay.
This is my first meeting, so I'm just sort of
Welcome.
absorbing.
Absolutely.
I'm here because of the possibility of ICE moving into the courthouse.
Thank you. Okay, with that, then we'll move into the Gallagher presentation and, I'm thinking for anyone who wants to continue to stay on, that's wonderful, but, can also give anyone who would like to, it might be. Yeah,
Let's sneak out.
yeah, it's a good time for.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Pleasure. I'll be in touch. Yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
If you don't
Right.
mind, I'm gonna have Julie do the introductions, Kate, if Commissioner Coyle, if you don't mind. Thank
That's
you.
fine. I see we have. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
So we have Matthew Pukel
Mhm.
from Gallagher. He's our new representative taking Gary Fornari's place, who you might remember. And then Brian Carlson, who's been with us for a very long time, giving our presentation today.
Great, welcome.
Thank you. And Gary retired, so he's that's for that.
Shoes, big shoes.
Yeah.
You replace him with another Italian, no? I know, it's another Italian kid. Is that how you had to apply? You had to be Italian to replace him?
Oh, boy.
I
So-
really appreciate the time, and I don't know if we are planning on sharing this presentation, or if everyone has a copy of it.
I know.
We received it electronically. Do you want to look at it? We have the,
Your handouts? Huh?
You're gonna put it up on the, do we have the PowerPoint?
you can just, I mean, if you're okay, we'll just look at it electronically. Or Leila, would it be?
So I would have brought okay. I just thought
We can
everybody
get
could really see
started.
what we're starting. Okay, well,
Very
again, I appreciate the time. My name is Matt Pukel. I'm with Gallagher. I've been in the industry for nearly 30 years. Worked with municipalities in the past, similar to Rockingham. Again, having the opportunity to sit down, work with Brian, and meet your team, with Allison, with Julie, met with Chuck, really let me understand some of the challenges Rockingham has been facing, some of the areas that you guys have done some amazing accomplishments over the past couple of years. And what we're really looking to do today is, number one, introduce myself to all of you, right? Really position where we are today, with Rockingham, with your benefits, your total reward programs, talk about some current financial information, and discuss what we're looking at for strategic positioning, looking at the upcoming July renewal. So essentially, next steps that we're looking to take, really starting this month, right away, that we've already had some conversations about previously. And I just want to go through it, and I know I have about 30 minutes or so to touch on this, so I want to be cognizant of everyone's time. So again, I introduced myself, everybody knows Brian, and the presentation, if you don't have, again, we'd be happy to share it. We have the Gallagher team that is included. Including Emma Lucy, who's a day-to-day, she's not here. We've included Matt Chadwick and Lucy McCallum on the invite. Matt and Lucy are essentially people who I report up to, so if something has to get escalated above my level, I have no problem bringing Matt or Lucy in. Lucy's our area president, and Matt Chadwick is the executive vice president for the region. In addition to some subject matter experts around compliance, around individual disability, executive benefits, etc. So just what we know and understand for Rockingham. Essentially, where are you today? Rockingham, you're 400 employee municipality that's on the plan today. You're larger than that overall, but on the plan for your total rewards, you're around 400 employees. It's a very paternalistic company. You bring people into the municipality and they stay. They're here for a long time. And when you take a look at why do they stay, it's partially, yes, salary and income, but a large part of the benefits. By staying here at Rockingham, how do the benefits help them? How does it help them in their day to day? Thank you so much. And how can we continue those benefits in an economy that is difficult to manage the cost of those benefits, right? There are really going to be 4 areas that we're going to want to focus on and talk about. We're just on page 6 here. This is what I'm talking to right now. I just thought this sketch out there. There, you're perfect. That one? Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. So really, there are just 4 areas that we're looking to focus on in strategy, right? And these 4 areas, the one thing I just want to highlight, when we look to put together a strategy to help make your benefit programs more affordable, and honestly, keep it as attractive as this today, I'm even looking at ways to make it more attractive to help you retain, recruit new employees and talent here to Rockingham. We don't look to essentially make changes that impact employees' cost of point of service. So essentially increasing their costs or increasing how much they're going to be paying from a contribution level. Those are the last thing that we do. You know, they're always on the table at some level, but those are the last areas that we really want to explore. What we want to explore is what value we bring to employees, whether it's around the vendor partnerships that you currently have, the terms within the vendor partnerships, and other opportunities with regards to technologies and education that we can bring in front of your employees and their members and their spouses, their families, that could drive better decisions, that could favorably impact their experience at their physician at the point of service, as well as have some positive impacts for Rockingham. And those areas are, we'll be looking at marketings, right? And marketing doesn't mean leaving your current vendors. It's just looking to leverage an opportunity to make certain that the vendors that you have in force today, we can maximize what you're getting out of them. And could it be leaving at some point? Maybe, but that's not the ultimate goal. We want to take a look at, for medical and pharmacy, we also want to take a look at data, looking at enhanced solutions around being able to understand what your data states. How can we make decisions based on your actual utilization and what we know about your programs and your plans? And finally, we want to keep in mind retirees. Yeah? So those are 4 key areas that we'll be getting to in our conversation today. Want to make this the best use of everyone's time, so I don't want to be talking to you sometimes. So if you have questions or want to guide me down certain paths, please feel free to do so. And
let's roll it right into what the current state is.
Yeah.
That's really what this is which is gonna dictate where we go next.
Yeah, keep it going good.
Most important thing I was gonna ask, so I'm Swedish, that's why I'm at this end of the table.
But you want to be Italian, right?
I'm working on it, you know, I've been
Sorry.
around some good ones.
I hung out with Gary for a long time.
No.
Probably picked up a few pointers.
Raylan's happy right now.
Believe it or not, Gary gave me a buzz this morning because he knew we were coming up, so he did say hello. I guess and goodbye at the same time, so, but, current state on slide 8. on the left-hand side, kind of two main buckets. You got your core coverages, which is the employer paid, and underneath is your voluntary coverages. One thing we want to point out is, you know, working with Julie and Alice for so long, and obviously Chuck as well, and I have my back to you. You got a good suite of products that are offered. And a lot of times what we try to do is have the main stuff, medical, dental, vision, right? You have that, but it's the ancillary line, which is the voluntary stuff, is good as well. All right. And the enrollment you can see on that third column, is pretty good. You know, if we had ones and twosies outside, say Cobra, then we'd look at those lines. You can see the carriers listed in the middle. And then the renewal rating terms, and this becomes important, obviously, with this July renewal coming up. About half your lines are up for renewal, half of them, thank you, are in a rate guarantee. And the evergreen perpetual, that means they just don't change unless we get a red flag from the carrier. So those are good, those just stay the same constant year over year. That's slide 8, yep, you got it, okay.
I mean,
I'll try to go quick here, just some highlights from the, you know, the past renewal, but obviously just as of today, on slide 9, we did eliminate the OAP plus 15 plan. Okay, on renewal, we'll get into the enrollment shift there in a second. And then Express Scripts is your pharmacy, and it's embedded with Cigna. The one thing that we like here, and it's becoming more and more prevalent, is your RX rebate. Right now, it's about a 75% share with Cigna. And 75% back to Rockingham. They pay it out in, right? So it's a negative number, right? So it's 270, you know that. I don't mean it like that. I came up the wrong way, but 272, you can probably, that amount, give or take, will probably happen again. If it's higher, great. We don't like to go there. Usually we'll give out that amount, and that's a deduction once a year, okay? And then what we projected for the medical, which is obviously your medical admin, your claims, your stop loss, was about a 9% increase. Okay, for this year that we're right as of today. Your wellness incentives, we have 25K there that can be used. Julie and Allison tend to usually have a very good plan to use up those funds. We definitely use them up because they don't roll over. There usually is a plan in place to either help out some type of incentive or a wellness rebranding. I think a stop loss would been a good HM for a few years, 170K especially. I'm just trying to hit the highlights, and I think you all know this anyways. Again, nice and rich HSA, you guys, Rockingham provides a 1750 for single, 3500 for family, someone's four on the HSA, that's like really, really good. So that, again, that's a perk, right? That's a nice thing for employees. Right under there as well as the buyout. If you waive medical, Rockingham is one-time $1,500. The dental is pretty stagnant. But it's been kind of held to working rates for a long time. Dental seems to be increasing in claims a little bit. So we projected about 8.4% increase. That really comes down to claims because the admin there is pretty steady. And then we have Harlow.
Yeah, I could probably talk to Harlow. So Harlow Health, it's a healthcare shopping tool, which the purpose of it really is to try to drive care to what's called higher quality, lower cost providers. The challenge with Harlow, and I actually had an introductory call to them when I joined the team, and the CEO, CFO joined the call. And the challenge that they're facing is because of the partnership with Cigna, right? They don't have the data that they need to really do their job effectively from a vendor perspective. And it's not an expensive solution that's you're paying for, but the value of it, or the perceived value that you should be receiving from it, you're really not getting what you should be. So based on the conversation that I had with them, we came to a mutual agreement that they're just not really structured and they're not large enough. They're a smaller company to really work with Cigna. I mean, I'm upfront with you right now. So we want to take a look at what other solutions might be available, and there are, that could really accomplish what Harlow is looking to do. And there are those solutions out there that we're going to look at and research this over the next few months, hopefully for a 7-1 implementation. And I don't know if anyone in this room has had experiences with them or what have you.
We had them great.
Yeah, no, it's a great company, just they're not able to, unfortunately, I think, generate as much, impact as they were hoping to.
Some other point of contact to help someone to get knee surgery, look up a few doctors, you know, A-rated, and then the pricing, and then if they're in the network. So it's one of those tools. And there's other vendors that we can look at, that are low dollars.
I think the big elephant in the room, not to jump ahead too much, is our stop loss. I mean, we signed a 1-year contract last year. We're up for renewal and it is not good this year. So
No, it's
that
not.
is elephant in the room that really, if we distill this, that's what the whole context of our, or a lot of what we're gonna be dealing with this year is that. Now, it seems like we have we have 4 high claims, right? One seems like it's going to fall off. So I don't know if that is going to help our stop loss coverage, like help us on the market, but I mean, what are we really looking at there, and what should we sort of right now start looking at, realistically for that increase, because that's where we're gonna get.
So I think probably talk to stop loss. Stop loss, the way we picture it, and I've been doing this for a long time. I describe it as a commodity, right? It doesn't affect your employees. They don't know it exists, and they don't need to. This is an inside solution to maximize your risk, put a ceiling to the overall exposure that Rockingham has on any individual member claims. Right now, it's $170,000, I believe. So that's a ceiling. So anything above that for any member within a given 12-month period within that contract year, your max exposure at $170K. Stop loss trend is 20%. That's what the trend is. So when we budget, when we look forward, we typically look at your experience, and if your experience is essentially consistent year over year, we typically look at that 20% trend as a starting point. And we mentioned before the claims, right? So when we're looking at the self-funded, the self-funded approach is really 3 buckets, right? The first bucket is the claims, right? That's when I go see a doctor, get a knee surgery or whatever it might be, that's the amount of money that Rockingham has to pay for that particular claim. The second bucket is it's called the ASO, the Administrative Services. So in your case, in Rockingham's case, that's essentially the access to the Cigna network, the Cigna utilization, the discounts, the tools and technology Cigna brings to the members who participate, right? And the third bucket is the stop loss. Now again, and that's the maximum. So the claims make up about, I'm ballparking, 80 to 85%. So if you have $1 budget, the claims make up 80 to 85% of that dollar, and about 5% or so is the ASO fee, 5 to 7%, and the remainder is stop loss. So of the overall dollars, it's the smallest portion, ASO and stop loss. But to your point, it's a hard market. The stop loss increases are challenging, to say the least. So if you get a 50, 60% increase, it could impact your overall budget by 1, 2, 3 percentage points. So every year we do go out to market. So we have preferred vendor solutions, which have preferred pricing. They have preferred terms within them to allow for to guarantee rate caps for future years. We take a look at certain terms. There's something called a laser, where there's an individual that's driving significant claims that even though you have 170, they can laser them at 250, 500, pick a number. I've seen 1 million. But we have terms that don't allow lasers within them, so they have to just accept it. So we're going to look at all of that every year. And I guess I just had a situation where we had a client separate from Rockingham. They had a 99% increase stop loss. We were able to accomplish a 27% increase. So that was a pretty significant shift we were able to accomplish. My point there is you're 100% right that stop loss drives cost, and we have to be aware of it. But we will go out to market. We have a number of tools and resources available where we will be able to have competitive pricing at the end of the day. The final numbers for stop loss, you typically need at least 9 months of data within that plan year before any stop loss carrier will give you a final number. So your July, that means July through April? I think I'm doing that right. So you need that through April, which we typically get at the end of May, before we could have that final number for Rockingham, but that's is core of what about part of that strategy.
If I can, yeah, if I can interject, and I don't mean to, but page 16 is really showing us a capturing of even that number one is gonna fall off between the end of November, December, but trailing behind them, you have four that I am for other individuals that I have concerns about and where they're gonna end up, because these numbers are only reflecting October. We don't have any claims from November and December, and I expect that these four are gonna continue on in that trend of seeking services and stuff. Then you're falling lower down as you go down, which is typical of us in around the $120,000 mark. But these four are, a little bit more concerning that they're there. And I don't know, Brian or Matt, if you can say anything about those.
Oh, yeah. So Kate, to answer your question, yes. You forget anything we talked about today, it's just coming down to the stop losses, because the admins are really phenomenal.
Right.
And the thing is,
Exactly.
to be fair, we are still in, it was a volatile year last year with stop loss in general. All that, fronts. We're still in. So when Matt talks about 99%, holy cow, it's not that rare. That's the thing. So the good thing is, luckily on the back end, I know you probably won't pull it out, but there is a 50% rate cap on your stop loss coming up with HR. All right, now again, we laugh, right? We never thought we'd even deal with it. It actually just saves some clients, because it does just come down to pure claims. If you got a lot of, sick people, it's just gonna happen. That's what the stop loss is there to help protect, right? So I think a couple things within that. If you look at slide, back up just one to the 15, very helpful. And then we'll flip to 17. But ultimately, what this here is, this is a 4-month snapshot of current versus this time last year. And last year, we can see at the top, the green arrows, just want to draw your attention. That number's a little small, so we just figure from there.
Yeah, we're up $500,000.
Yeah, half, and right.
Or down of $500,000.
Yeah, this time last year, right, we're pushing about $1 million. Right now, it's about $500,000. Yes, claimant number one on the bottom chart should fall off due to Cobra. I think Allison had mentioned that. Which will, yes, anything like that will help. But Allison's kind of already said it, it's
The long-term
as we're
payments.
growing, right?
And when you look at the,
Bingo, and if you just slide real quick, to slide 14. I'm all about the green arrows today to kind of just get attention. But this here is, again, a 4-month snapshot of current today and the last 2 periods. And the crazy thing about Rockingham, if you look at those arrows, you get 1 month in those first 4 months that blow up. You see in 2023 is like 1.17 million, right, in August. And then in 2024 is 1.18 in October. And in the current, you had the big one back in August again. So yeah, I think that the best thing is if you're in tune, that yes, you're sick people are watching that. And the hope is, right, maybe that big month that we had here in August, for the current year, maybe things start settling down, right? Might not, but that's what you hope for. And so then that will back up the pricing itself.
And essentially, when we were talking about this, we kind of because now we have some history. So when we look to project your numbers year over year, we typically look at 2 to 3 years of data. We look back to try to project forward, right? And with these information data shows here, what we call seasonality as well, where usually Q3 to Q4, we expect a spike in claims. So when we look at 4 months of data within a year, that's a portion, small, that's only one portion of the year, the higher portion that we likely will see. And if we look at previous years, you can see the average claims have come down overall throughout the months compared to the first few months. There are a couple spikes here and there, but there are also a number of lower claims as well. But we're seeing consistency. So where the rates are, if you take a look at the past couple of years, couple of years ago, we had about a 6% increase. Last year was, compared to budget, looks like it was a -6%, which is really over 2 years, that's a flat budget. So we expect certain level of consistency moving forward as well. So because you have the data, you have the group size, number of members, and the history that we're able to accurately project what we think their claims are going to be. Obviously, there'll be some outliers occasionally, but enough here that we can make an actually valid analysis and projection on a go-forward basis.
And if you look again, just on slide 15, so Kate, that one claim, it should be off at the end of the year, it was claimed
Yeah.
number one in both years, so. Yeah, so look at that, and we'll make a point of striking that with the carriers and we'll go to market. Last year, we finished, the finalized stop loss was on the current contract, so 45% increase. If you remember, most of the market said, no, thank you. And then, but Cigna was one of the play, and they were kind of close, but they threw 2 lasers and they had jacked up the premium a little bit on them, so that's why we need to go there. So Cigna seems to be a really good barometer. If they're willing to look at you, they hadn't 2 years prior, so last year they were kind of competitive, so we'll see. It's just the way it goes, you know, but that's definitely a key element, and again, that just is a fixed cost on your admin, it's the claims that are, you know.
Yep.
Going around, so.
When would you guys be coming in to kind of give us a recommendation where we could go? Is that
May.
May?
Yeah.
So with that driver, the driver that hopefully is getting healthy and not gonna be part of us
And
anymore,
it's gonna be off our
off our chart.
chart, this Cobra ends.
So you roughly think we're gonna be in much better shape knowing that it's not, because you couldn't really know, you couldn't do it in previous years, 23, 24, because you knew that was still ongoing.
But I think the challenges we have just, I mean, you guys are gonna answer, but the next 4 after that
That's still big.
are still pretty high claimants with
No,
circumstances that don't have, they're not like, yes, they're not one and done.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the pharmacy, we have 4 trending kind of high on the pharmacy end of things. And I know we've talked, Matt, Brian and I have talked about the pharmacy and potential assistance in that area. Because those are kind of high.
And the claims also that we have, the 5 claims that we have in this most recent 4 months, outside the top claimant,
Yeah.
there are some claims that are repeat claimants, so.
Yeah.
They're known risks that are already in your stop loss.
Mhm.
Yes, so when you look forward, it's not someone new or someone unexpected. So I think we're at a new starting point. I don't want to say that we're not going to get up 45% again, but I would be surprised if you did. How's that? I can't
Yeah.
honestly commit to anything. I'd be very surprised if it would be as challenging this upcoming year, especially with the information we're able to share with some of the claim information as maybe it was last year.
And HM's not gonna look to gouge on pricing, they're very loyal, they're very good partners, so.
Yeah.
They do need to price the program to support the claims, right, so that's a little different. And again, the somewhat unique with Rockingham, just about, when we flash it, looking at these claims, just about all of them are spouses, right?
Yeah.
Usually there's a bit more of a mix, there's usually more employees and maybe a dependent in there, so. We work and watch this with Allison each month, so. Tom, to get back to your question, usually we'll try to do an early projection to kind of see how pricing's going. Yeah, and then we'll get in here as soon as we can, to show that to you, and then we have our projection that kind of tightens up the firm stop loss pricing, so. Yeah, you know, kind of know the gig, that's how it comes together, and I think collectively, we're all watching it. The thing is, it happens, I think we talked last year. You'll have a couple good years where there's low claims, and then it goes, whoa, a year or two, and then it does this. So unfortunately, we're in that role right now. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it.
And I think that we should talk, I mean, again, we want to make this the best use of your time, and I know you have some information, but maybe we'll talk a little bit more about the strategies, things that we're looking to review in the upcoming months to really help out with some of the discussions that we're having. Advance a couple. There you go, perfect. So at the beginning, we kind of jumped into this, I mentioned 4 areas, right? It was around marketing for medical, active stop losses in there as well, pharmacy. looking at some enhanced solutions around data warehouse and technology. It's called, we're calling it Stella Navigation, as well as partnering with Cigna. Again, you have a long partnership with Cigna, and we want to make sure that we maximize the solutions and the technology that they can bring to the table, that maybe you're not using today, in the upcoming year, which could offset some of the projections. The marketings, and we have calendars and things like that, we don't need to go to that, but with regards to the marketings, and I'll talk to the ASO vendor, which is Cigna, Stop Loss, right, which is HM, and the pharmacy. Pharmacy is essentially right now part of Cigna. We're gonna wanna take a look at, even though you're in a contract currently with Cigna and our guarantees, it still doesn't mean we can't go out to market to see what else we can leverage. What other levers we might be able to pull to enhance the current contract, maybe to extend it to, in favor, for Rockingham. So so just because we are in a contract, I don't think we need to sit complacently and waiting to the contract terms before we try to do something a little bit more, impactful to try to affect some of these costs. So we're gonna look to March, right? We'll go to all the different carriers and we'll see what we can leverage to make certain get the, best pricing, best terms, for Rockingham. Stop Loss is every year we can market that. That's just a given. Okay, it is money in the contract. And the pharmacy, the challenge we have with the pharmacy is it is with Cigna, you get some rebates and it's running well. Well, let's see if we can do it even better. So right now, one area we can take a look at is carving out pharmacy. Challenge is if you're with Cigna, because of Cigna policy, you're not able to carve out the pharmacy if you're below 500 employees. Okay. But even though that's the case, we still could assess the opportunities carving out would have, along with the marketing we're doing with the ASO vendor, and leverage those results to try to negotiate with the Cigna pharmacy contract. So you're getting certain rebates and certain discounts currently through Cigna. We look at what we can get carving it out. We can use those numbers to try to leverage it against the Cigna pharmacy. So it doesn't mean leaving Cigna and leaving the pharmacy, but trying to maximize again the value that you're getting on the claims that you're paying and the discounts you're receiving.
Do you see them using the pharmacy and using it, shopping around a little bit, buying, not so much from the pharmacy or buying online? I think the wife gets it from Canada or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Are we using it? Cause we weren't doing it for a long time.
So
We
looking at
were going to the
international-
hospital, we weren't doing the walk-ins, we weren't doing the pharmacy.
cancellation of your 50% discount.
What does that sound coming from?
I thought it was Allison.
Yeah, so Tom, some of those items like, good RX, that kind of thing.
Sure.
If someone, it's like a discount, you get like a lower cost or cheaper.
Yeah.
Cost for the drugs. What that does, it's kind of a side avenue or a side street where that would not go through Cigna. So it's hard for us to track, like if everybody at the table was using that. Though it is where, there are opportunities to go out there, because not everyone comes down to cost and how much you can afford. On the back end, this time last year, we didn't have our internal team look at Cigna's pharmacy program to make sure it was the best negotiated rates for that, and right now it is, but that's kind of becoming an annual thing now. It used to be like a 3-year look. So the bottom line, though, I think when you get to your pharmacy, it's where the cost is coming, it's on the specialty meds. And what that is high cost in meds that are helping out like the cancer patients, that kind of thing. So you definitely, you were walking, you definitely, you're not out of norm what we're seeing for pharmacy costs, but it's not low either.
Right.
This way it's. And I wish there was a way you could track, those, Joe goes to, say, Walgreens and uses GoodRx and maybe gets his, blood medication, whatever it is, for a little less, but that usually falls outside. The plan, but back to the fact that Cigna right now, their discounts are really good as it is, so. It's probably outside of stop loss, pharmacy is the other growing. Trying to keep that cost down.
You go into like a Hannaford's or something, so, I use my wife's insurance, so I'll go in to buy something. The girl will tell me the price, and I call my doctor, I said, look, you gotta give me something lower.
Mhm.
I mean, the co-pays, there's too much money. You know, we go in there just to get something, I'll get a generic, I'll ask them to
Right.
do it, but
Yeah.
maybe an employee's not gonna do that.
Well, that's becoming, where you're advocating for yourself, and that's becoming more and more problem, even for younger folks, cause it is, the pricing is
Okay.
nuts,
Yeah.
just really never, right?
Yeah.
But it's good that you're doing. Cause it might seem, oh, this is a real pain to do, but sometimes it helps and does work and. Financially, if someone's struggling a little bit too, to pay for those, and the co-pays, again, benchmark on your plans, what you pay for co-pays, which rate.
I think the driver is to tell them that if they do that,
Yeah.
we're all gonna see it at the very end.
Yeah.
If we get it, the more that we can save, the less it is for somebody else.
Yeah, and you know how, I want to say pick on employees, but folks just look at it, I don't care what any other company has, I have a $10, $15, $20, $30 copay. It's all too expensive, right? So it's, that's another definitely area that, it's right at the top of the list for us to watch,
Can we do with incentives or something? I mean, and that's where like maybe get more creative just internally. It's not necessarily about using some of these programs to try to reduce the cost or, drive consumer behavior towards a different type of prescription or using.
Yeah, they're definitely different,
Like a bio or something.
yeah,
Yeah, or
different
like-
solutions that we could work with Cigna. I'm looking at, DAW dispenses rating levels, there's DAW1, DAW2, just, I don't want to get too details, but there are different levers or levels that we can look at, which require, for instance, generics prior to any type of brand, depending upon, kind of plan structure. So we could continually look to work with Cigna and any pharmacy that we work with, quite frankly, to promote generic utilization that drives significant savings, as well as education. Other areas outside is, the navigation, and we have here Stella Navigation is a solution, which is essentially, a nurse-based platform where we use Data Warehouse and, a group called, Garner, which provides access to your employees if they need any type of procedures, hospital procedures, surgeries that could incentivize to you and direct to the higher quality, lower cost providers. So I think, Brian, as you were saying before, right, you have to get if you need something with your heart or you need a knee replacement or what have you. Well, you have a number of providers locally, within the region, number of hospitals where you can have the procedure done. And every hospital has its own cost and they vary tremendously. It's unbelievable how much with the same provider, if you go to hospital A versus hospital B, there can be 30, 40, 50% swing in price just because of the hospital. So what the goal is to try to help educate and promote and direct employees, especially because you're in high deductible health plans. Well, which facility can bring your dollar the furthest? Where can you go to get the highest quality of care? So that's what we're looking to achieve. There are also a number of point solutions. We were talking all about the high cost claims, right? There's a statistic in here. I think it's your high cost, we didn't really talk about it in detail. I know we jumped around a little bit, but the 5 claimants that you've had in this first 4 months is driving just under 50% of your costs.
Yeah,
It was like
it's like
47%. Yeah,
yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
That's a huge number, right?
Right.
You're not gonna impact all of them. You're just not, because these are people that are sick, that need specialty care, and it's very unique care. The cost to the is there.
It's continuous.
But how can you impact a small percentage of those? So one of the solutions is quantify. It's a point solution, means nothing. But what it does is it focuses on patients who need what's called infusions. So think of someone who has cancer. So once a month, once every couple of months, they have to get up, leave their home. They're probably, might not be feeling great or what have you, go to a hospital, outpatient, get this infusion done, and then go back. And they have to do it every month. Now, these services are typically high cost claimants, hundreds of thousands of dollars annually, and they're required. This one company that we partnered with, called Quantify, allows these infusions to be done at someone's house. It eliminates Number one, the inconvenience of the member needing to leave their house, go to the hospital to get this infusion done monthly or however timely it is. It eliminates the overhead of the hospital costs, the facility costs, which are huge. We have this with a couple of different clients that I've worked on. And I've seen savings range from, for an individual, around $100,000 to about $400,000 or $500,000 for a year for that one person. Obviously, a stop loss, but still, there's significant savings. It's impacting a small sliver of your overall members, but the members that it is impacting are the highest cost members. So that's one way to try to help offset some of the costs. You're not taking away care, you're not shifting costs to the employees. What you're doing is you're partnering with a service that has found a more accessible, a more user-friendly, and a lower cost way of delivering the same type of service they're receiving today. The employees are happy, the members are happy, as well as you find that the companies are essentially having lower costs as a result. You also have a population of, you have a long tenure of employees. They stick around a while here, which is great. But they also have an older average age than others. So many employees might have access to other coverage that are more federally subsidized, such as TRICARE or Medicare coverage and things along those lines. I can tell you, even where I'm sitting, Medicare is complex, and this is what we do.
It's more complex.
It's tough. So FedLogic is a company as well that we like to essentially allow access to the employee that might have access to some of these other solutions with Medicare or TRICARE. And what FedLogic does is says, well, what's your current medical look like now through your employer, through Rockingham? What other solutions do you have available to you around Medicare or TRICARE or other types of services? And what makes the most sense for you? They don't have any, they're not looking to move anyone, they're just trying to educate people. And if there are other solutions that are available that where there might be more along the lines of Medicare or other federally subsidized solutions, promote saying this is an option you might want to consider, and it's up to the employee at the end of the day where they want to end up. Again, these are just different ways where you're not taking anything away. You're not shifting costs. You're just educating of what other options are available that might be better for you outside of your employer funded programs. Okay. So those are just a couple of solutions that we look at through Stella Navigation. And the other areas around Cigna. They have it's called a Cigna Pathway Bone and Joint Program. It's musculoskeletal, an MSK program, right? Cigna's coming in, and we're looking to have a meeting with Cigna in the next month. We'll look at what are some of the claim drivers for the rest of your population. Musculoskeletal is usually in the top 10. It's almost always in the top 10. So this is essentially a program that allows your employees to seek care as they need it without any concern of their out-of-pockets. They try to reduce their out-of-pockets. So yes, Rockingham will take on additional cost because of that. But because of the service and they're getting the help that they need, your employees, and getting whatever type of MSK services they need, it reduces their overall cost throughout the year. So the ROI, and so there's a return on investment. There's a number of solutions and strategies that we're talking about. Everything that we're talking about today, before we even consider implementing anything throughout the next few months, we're going to do an analysis. We're going to look at your specific claims data, your specific utilization, and say, if we had these in place over the past 12 months, we can take a snapshot. What would this look like? Would there be a return on investment, or is there not much value?
Give us some options.
Give us more, exactly. And once we have those markers and say, you know what, if you had it in place, it would have saved you, pick a number. Yes, it does make sense. Then we will consider implementing it. So nothing that we're going to do for July 1, 2026, we're going to do without knowing what would have looked like if it was in place previously. So that's the key in developing this strategy. We're trying to get in front of it a little bit. The conversations, the stop loss, some of these large claims, they're going to exist. They're going to continue to come up. But what can we do proactively to get in front of it and be impacted before it actually hits your books? So that's really what we're looking to try to accomplish.
Great. Well, Thank you. Thank you
Sure.
for your time. We
Yep.
appreciate it. I mean, I think it's like, stay tuned. We will get the data and then, make decisions with data.
Yep. Data driven decisions.
Matt, in the bio, you and Brian, in the bio, you
Yeah.
put that you like to fish in the Narragansett Bay.
I love it.
And Brian forgot to fill out that question. So Brian, what do you like? to fill?
I'm a Chatham guy.
Yeah, Chatham.
I married up, my wife's from Chatham, believe it or not, part of some of the original fishing families. And so, I don't have a small boat, not a big one, a little whale that we take around, but yeah, her family is all, they used to do the weir fishing, where you use nets and poles and stuff like that, so, yeah, so I'm a saltwater guy on the outer cape when I can, so.
Gary used to bring us chocolate sometime to see the fish. you remember?
13-foot whaler.
She's 15, but she's just.
What's your engine?
We got a Yamaha on there.
Okay.
She ain't gonna say it's
Yeah. Guess it's where we need to go.
13-foot.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
25 cc though. It's perfect for the kids. It's for the kids.
I'm a 20-foot Grady, so it's just what we need.
Different. All right.
Good time, guys.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi. You as well.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you.
Normal.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's always. It is interesting. I mean. All right.
Take care.
So now, we're back into, we're still in new business, and right now we have one more motion, for new business. Do you want it? Go ahead. You.
I'll make a motion for a change order, approve a change order for CM Cleaning in the amount of $8,550 for cleaning services on the new building for the period of December 4th, 2025 to December 31st, 2025.
Second.
Discussion? I'm glad we,
Seems like a reasonable rate for compared to what we were already paying, so
right. On the motion, Commissioner Godu?
yes.
Commissioner
yes.
Tombrello, and I vote yes. All right. That concludes our public meeting portion, sort of. And with that, I'll take a motion to enter into non-public session.
I'll make a motion that we enter the non-public of the New Hampshire RSA 91-A:3 Roman C A personnel.
Second,
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Commissioner Tombrello?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
yes.
And I vote yes. You can enter into non-public. Right. There was no,
There was no conversation about the jail.
there about the jail, and I know that wasn't on the agenda. There was an opportunity for a public. Good afternoon. We are back in public session after being in non-public session, and I'll turn it over to Commissioner Tombrello for a motion.
I will make a motion that we seal, we had two non-public items that we seal both of them.
Okay.
Definitely.
Second,
Oh, should I say why?
We can just say they're sealed indefinitely because they could render a proposed action ineffective and also, what'd you say?
Somebody other than a member.
Adversely affect the reputation of
They
the
were
member
using
of this
it in my
board.
speech.
We don't have any end time to this, so,
right,
Agreed.
just to clarify. Any further discussion?
that's it,
Hearing none on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Tombrello, and I vote yes. Commissioner Tombrello, I'd ask you to make one final motion.
To adjourn.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.
I think this is, this how